verse 20 through 22, they set out from Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. That the Hebrew word for glory is kavod. Shout kavod. It's an interesting word. It means heaviness or weight. That glory is interesting because it shows up a number of different ways in the Old Testament. That later on in Exodus, Moses is going to say, Lord, I want to see your glory. And later on in Exodus, they said the glory is going to sit on a mountain and it's going to resemble that of a fire. And then there's other times, in 1 Samuel, that ultimately the Ark of the Tabernacle is taken by the Philistines. And then the daughter-in-law of Eli has a son and names him Ichabod, which means the glory has been captured. There's something interesting about glory, but notice how it reads. It says they set out from Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness, and the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to lead them on the way during the day, and a pillar of fire to give them light at night. Two pillars, a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Glory shows up. This is a manifestation of glory. That glory shows up in the wilderness by fire and by cloud. During the day, glory would be a cloud, but during the night, glory would be a fire. And I love what the text says, but I also love what it doesn't say. Because the glory doesn't wait to be asked. You see, because glory is dynamic. That when you need fire, the glory is fire. But when you need covering and direction, the glory is a cloud. It's the dynamic nature of the cloud and fire that blesses me, because both can be easily spotted at night and day, but both also serve as protection. In the heat of the day, the cloud would serve as a shield against the direct rays of the sun to prevent dehydration. But then don't forget about the fire, because the fire would also protect them from going back to Egypt and protect Egypt from getting to them. It's the glory that moves. It's the glory that changes based upon what I need. It's the glory that in some seasons when I need it to be a fire will be a fire. It's the glory that when some seasons I need it to be a cloud will be a cloud. Is there anybody in here that's really your testimony? That there have been times I've needed God to be a friend and God has been my friend. There have been times when I needed God to be a comforter and God has been my comforter. There have been times that I've needed God to be something else, and in every season, at every time of the day, God has always responded the right way. It is the intuition of glory that switches upon the decision based upon the circumstances that are going on. As a matter of fact, that's what happened to William Cooper. William Cooper decided that he was going to end it all, and he called a cab to take him to the Thames River, and it was a dense fog that came over the city that day, and he got lost in the fog. Cooper falls asleep in the back of the cab, and the driver sensed the melancholy of Cooper, and the driver drives around and senses that something is wrong. And when Cooper wakes back up, Cooper is back at his doorstep. And Cooper then, after going back to his doorstep, then takes his pen and writes these words: God moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. He plants his footsteps in the sea, and he rides on the storms. That what Cooper was trying to illustrate is that God has intuition that sometimes will respond to what I need them, even when I don't know what I need in the moment. I'm done. Glory guides.